Hey everybody, I feel like I'm looking down on you, but this is the sideways view on my phone and it looks better on YouTube, so it doesn't really matter if I'm fitting in or not. I am creating this video because one of our challengers had a great question about cravings. I put out in the last video, let's start talking about what some of our cravings are. Do we crave sweets? Do we crave fatty things? Do we crave fried things, crunchy things, salty things? What is it? And in order to figure out maybe how we resolve some of these cravings, if they're not an emotional attachment, let's say, we need to sort of wrap our heads around where different types of craving come from and what that means in your body. So, your body is a well-oiled machine. It's inherently intelligent, and if you're not consuming the right things, your body's going to send you signals to consume foods high in some type of macronutrient, that's protein or carbohydrate or fat, and bring in those calories because it thinks that there's some kind of famine of some kind in your body going on. But that means that you could be overfeeding yourself calorically, but nutritionally you're still deficient. You could eat an entire bag of chips, let's say, and after those chips you're still super hungry, and then you want to go eat something else, and you feel really guilty or bad or confused, but you still feel hungry. Now, that hunger can come from an emotional relationship with food, but also your body is intelligent, and it could be telling you that you're lacking something in your nutrition. So I wanted to go through some sweets, some salty things, and some fatty things, and just see if any of this resonates with you, and we can start more of a conversation about it. So your cravings can indicate a lack of key nutrients or that desire to fill an emotional imbalance, and you might feel encumbered by your emotions, and the contraction and expansion of emotions and hunger feelings, and you might feel hungry when you're actually thirsty. And so, it can impact, your hunger can be impacted because of being overtired or stressed or just generally unhappy. So an imbalance in your nutrition and in your lifestyle will result in cravings. And lifestyle meaning sleep, water, fun, exercise, and proper nutrition, okay? Cravings are not a weakness. They're your body's way of telling you what's going on inside. Something is missing, we need to address it. And that something missing doesn't necessarily mean vitamin D. It could be something else. And so maybe taking a vitamin D supplement might not be what you want to do. You might want to get out in the sun. And maybe vitamin C could be something that you're craving in the form of like juices or sweets, and so maybe we just need to take a supplement for that instead. So there's lots of different healthy ways to understand it and fulfill what your body wants, as long as you're willing to pay attention to yourself. So just remember that your body tells you what it needs, and you just need to learn how to speak your body's language. Let's put it that way. So let's talk about sweets. I don't want to make this video very long. Craving sweets typically can be a signal for dehydration. Now, I crave sweets a lot in the evening. I think I've made a habit out of it. I think it's kind of like a reward at the end of the day. So whereas not too long ago, I used to want to have a glass of wine or a drink or something like that, now I really crave sweets. But that could be dehydration, and I know I drink a lot of water, but some days I don't, and I'm in a bit of denial about whether or not I'm properly hydrated for the day. And so when you're feeling that come on, grab some water, have a sip on it for a bit, drink a glass of water, don't slam it, just, go about your work or whatever you're doing at home, and then come back and see if that sweet tooth is still there. Also, instead of like cold water, you might want to try warm water with lemon. That's a really good toxin flush, so you're doing something good at the same time. You might be wanting something sweet because something sweet is missing emotionally. And I am not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but I do feel that I am, cheesy or not, a bit of an empath. And so, if you're not getting what you need emotionally in terms of just say being overstressed or unhappy, sugar releases endorphins, and that makes you feel happy. It's a comforting feeling. And so we need to then try to figure out ways to comfort ourselves that don't include eating. So we can do some stretching, some yoga, some meditation, some massage, go get your hair done, whatever it is, a facial, something that's also going to release those endorphins. That includes exercise. Also, you could try incorporating some more sweets like sweet fruits and sweet veggies into your diet to create a reduction in those cravings. So you've got sweet potatoes that you could use and add a little bit of stevia to or something. Carrots are sweet, apples are sweet, raisins. So those things will all help you stave off the need for something artificially sweet. And that's the point. It's not saying you can't have any sweets. It's just, let's stay away from the artificial sweets, the things that our body doesn't recognize as food, and the things that aren't feeding us emotionally or nutritionally, physically. So why don't we try using even gentle sweeteners, not during our challenge, but afterward, and see how you feel. If you're not vegan, you can try using raw honey. There's stevia and maple syrup for us vegans, and those can all be used, in coffees or teas or cereals or whatever you're eating during the day. But please try to go for more whole foods and see how that impacts you. Salt. Salt is our next topic. Cravings for salt can be a sign of a trace mineral deficiency in naturally occurring salt. So processed salt, like table salt, iodized salt, the stuff that's very small grains, it almost tastes like chlorine to me because I don't eat it, are stripped of the minerals while they're being processed. And so I like to use high spectrum salt, Himalayan salt, sea salt, anything that hasn't been overly processed or irradiated. So you want that nice big rock salt that you're going to use in a grinder, or they've ground it down enough that it's still coarse, but you can sprinkle it on top of your food. And you should be using a little bit of salt on all of your food, high spectrum, good quality salt in all your meals, unless you've been advised by your doctor not to. But other things that have salt in them or can come salted are pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, flax, and dark chocolate. And all of those nuts and seeds will boost your intake of important minerals. So you can try that, but first maybe just take a look at what kind of salt you have in your cupboard and see if you can get some more quality salt, and you'll be using less of it, and it will be recognized as proper food by your body. And then another thing to try, if you want to try, is incorporating sea vegetables into your diet. That doesn't necessarily mean eating a bunch of seaweed, but you can get like powdered kelp or dulse and throw that into a smoothie and see how that works out for you. Even those little salty seaweed snacks, I hate them. I've tried onion flavor, tomato flavor, every flavor. I think they're disgusting, but a lot of people like them. They have the crunch and the salt. They have too much of a seaweed taste. So try that for yourself as well. And just make sure when you're choosing salt to buy unrefined mineral or sea salt, high spectrum Himalayan salt. Health food stores and places like Whole Foods, Choices Market, they all carry stuff like that. If you're interested to know more about it, put a message in the group and I'll post some links, and other people will probably have input as well. And then finally, we're gonna just talk about fat for a minute. The craving for fatty fried food usually comes from your body's need for fat. So what you need to remember in this is that not all fats are the same. They don't have the same values. And so if you're craving French fries, fried chicken, if you eat chicken, or anything really oily, try to supplement with healthier fat. So avocados, raw nuts like almonds and cashews, and have a serving or two of coconut oil with your meals during the day. And I know if you've ever purchased a meal plan from me, typically, if I've taken you down to a super restricted clean diet to try to reset your body and its reaction to whole and plant-based foods, I will incorporate and say, look, half a teaspoon of coconut oil with this meal. And that's in order to balance you nutritionally. Not to the point where it's super greasy, but just try throughout the day to incorporate some coconut oil. Avocados, raw nuts, cashews, and coconut oil are gonna give your body the fat that it needs without exposing you to like partially hydrogenated oils or trans fats, which are things that we want to avoid. Got it? Questions? Post below here and we'll talk about it, okay? Great question for the group, really valuable for us on this 30-day challenge. So in the end, I just want you to take away one thing. Your body is totally perfect in every way, the way that it is. It breathes, it pumps blood, it converts food to fuel, and fuels all of the cells in itself. Learn to listen to your body, listen to what it needs, and trust that your body only wants what's best for you. Love your body, listen to it, and in a shorter amount of time, if you really dig into being in tune with your body, your cravings are going to start to subside and eventually be a thing of the past. So let's listen to ourselves, ask any questions about your sweets, about your fats, about your salt, or any other cravings you're having, and maybe we can make some food swaps for you. Awesome job, guys. Thanks for the questions. Ciao.